it's hard to fathom how people who believed in you and put trust in you now have to see that it's being taken away.
I know this has been an emotional couple days for you. Mm-hmm. Just start by describing to me how you're feeling after all this.
Kind of an array of emotions. Obviously sad, and then it kind of just delves into like anger, distraught. I think those are the main ones coming. You know, just because it's almost the end of the year, and I kind of saw this going a different way than how it's going now.
Has this put a kind of dark cloud? I mean, I know this is supposed to be like an exciting time, right? Close to graduation. How has all of this affected what is supposed to be a really happy time?
Kind of just in isolation, going to school and knowing that, you know, these people that I see every day, you know, because I'm an office aide as one of my class periods, and just seeing, you know, these people in the office are the ones that have been handling my grades, and, you know, they're the ones that told me that this is now my outcome. And obviously, like, I have told, you know, so many families and friends, and to kind of have that opportunity now taken away. It's not fun going to school and showing up. Yeah.
You said you told family and friends, you told them that you were the valedictorian.
Yeah, since I couldn't, sorry. Since I couldn't tell people when I was declared valedictorian last year, I had to wait, you know, till everybody else got the news that there was changes. And once that happened, I remember being like, okay, now I can tell friends, you know, for certainty. I can tell my family, you know, to start coming, making plans for graduation, you know, because some family live out of town, out of the state, and it was kind of just going to be a celebration of, you know, seeing all these people coming to support me for something that I've worked really hard for.
And did you know, I know valedictorian gives a speech. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about that? Did you start to think about?
I did. I kind of wrote it in like the style of a poem, and it was kind of a thought process, because a lot of people who write their speeches kind of reflect on their 4 years of high school, but I've been to, I think, 5 different high schools my whole 4-year period. So I've had like a plethora of knowledge of education from different teachers, from different schools, you know, have different friends. So I kind of wanted to focus my speech on that, you know, making education how it was important to me, and how no matter where I went, I was always doing my best for the best. And it was formatted in the way that I could, where people would relate to it, you know, and also kind of reflect on. But I wanted not just for people to walk away with, you know, a poem that kind of simplifies what everybody's been through, but for basically everybody, my family, my friends, my teachers, my peers, to know that that everybody has a goal, and our one common goal for graduation was to be able to walk off the stage with a diploma.
And so you wrote the speech already?
Yeah. Yeah.
When they called you in, they said that you're not valedictorian. Describe to me what that moment felt like for you.
The first words that I heard were, there has been a concern brought to our attention, and you will no longer be our valedictorian. And I hate to say that, you know, this will haunt me forever, but this affects my life after high school. This affects my college, you know, how I planned to spend my education, and those words, you know, constantly being repeated have a huge impact on how I'm going to be looking at the future now.
Can you tell me why?
Ever since I was little, I had always tried to balance school and my extracurricular activities. And once I realized that I was good at learning, I was good at, you know, taking input and, you know, putting them into my work, I thought I could do something with it. And so I wanted to focus more on my education. And it had been like the one goal that I had set myself for at the beginning of, you know, my freshman year was, I can do this. Like, I know I have the capability to learn from the best and take the classes that will help me, you know, pursue my education further. And to hear those words, not even 30 days before graduation, was gut-wrenching.
I know you're obviously a very bright young woman. Can you tell me about some of the schools you were looking at? Where you, I know you got into UT, obviously. Did you apply and get accepted to other schools as well?
Yes. I applied to 10 different schools, but I got accepted into UT Austin. I also got accepted into the waitlist at University of Chicago and Middlebury, and also Vanderbilt.
That's amazing. There is an implication of this financially, I know, for UT. What is that?
When I had told the counselor that I would be accepting my decision to UT, she informed me of the, I guess it's a Texas policy where valedictorians receive essentially a full ride to their first year at college. And because I've taken dual credit through this school, I would be a sophomore going into a junior of my college. So essentially, I would be paying for my senior year of of college, yeah. And knowing that, like, I was this close, you know, and I didn't have to worry about financials or money or you know, textbooks and all that, it was kind of a relief, because that was kind of the reasons why I was looking for scholarships and applying to schools that, you know, awarded financial need instead of, you know, merit need. And that was one of the things that kind of made this all depressing, is that I now don't have that stability for my college.
And how do you think that will affect your experience there as far as either loans or working?
Yeah, I was trying to avoid loans, and you know, I wanted to join as many activities as I could at UT, and to now have to worry about where I'm going to be able to pay, you know, where I'm going to be struggling. It's a lot.
Having to tell your family, you know, all this exciting news and work on your speech, and then have to say, actually, never mind, I'm not that much older than you, but I'm a couple years older than you, and that would be really hard for me. So especially being like in the midst of, like I said, graduation and all these exciting times, how has that affected you?
It's kind of made me put like a lens on everything. It's, like I said, it's kind of an isolation where I'm not getting to experience things like banquets or functions that are for seniors, because I know that they kind of took away the one thing that I'd worked hard for. And obviously telling family was not easy, because it's hard to fathom how people who believed in you and put trust in you now have to see that it's being taken away.
And so you've not wanted to go to any of those banquets or things like that?
No. No.
I know there have been a lot of conflicting things, and I can talk to your dad about this in a moment, but basically they said that it was a transfer credit policy. Is that the problem?
Yes. So when they said that my grades had changed, their reasoning was because of this policy that had been in effect 7 years ago, where that if there was a course that I took at a previous school that was not offered at Blue Ridge or was not an equivalent to what I had taken, they would just count it as a regular course and not with any weight added to them. And unfortunately, all the classes that I had taken that they were counting were all honors. So that additional weight is not there anymore. And
they're essentially not counting the honors classes as honors.
Yeah, it significantly brought my GPA down.
You sacrificed a lot to become first in your class. What did you give up?
Before I had decided that education was going to be important to me, I was a pre-professional ballet dancer. And I kind of realized that, you know, dancing almost 20 hours a week was not a well suit for balancing the hard classes that I was taking. And so I kind of took a step back from that, but I wanted to still be involved with my community and involved with the school. So I joined the cheer team. And with that, I was fortunate that the class periods for cheer were during the day. So it was kind of added to my schedule. And so I was able to still dance while I did dual credits and honors classes.
Do you have any hope that this might get resolved, or have you given up that might happen?
If you had asked me a week ago, I would have said that my main goal was that this is resolved, that either my GPA changes or, you know, there's just a written thing that says, oh, you know, you can count your grades, you know, it's only 30 days before graduation. But now, I've kind of just lost hope in it. And I mean, honestly, what I would want out of this is someone held responsible for it and for it to not happen to anyone else again, because it's not something you want to go through your senior year.
I was going to ask you, if they don't reverse it, are you hoping that going forward that they'll at least make an effort to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I hope so.
Why?
Because I mean, not only does this affect, you know, financials or my health or my grades, this kind of affects my future. And I do not wish that upon anyone else.
I cannot imagine how you feel as a parent watching this happen to your daughter.
It's definitely something that, you know, you can't prep yourself for. Getting that phone call on a Monday morning, I happen to be home and my wife's just like, it's Blue Ridge. And I'm like, okay, answer it. And our daughter is actually not feeling well that day. So when she heard it was Blue Ridge, we hear her coming down the hallway just to hear we had some adjustments made on GPAs and we need you to come in. Or we're like, no, we'd rather hear it now, you know. Well, no, we'd rather you come in. And sure enough, that's when they told us, we apologize, but due to some conflicts, Maya is no longer number 1, she's number 3.
How did that make you feel?
Like I said, at that moment, it's, as a parent, you feel hopeless. And that's what I've been telling my wife. You know, it's a situation that I feel hopeless because I can't really do anything. Sorry. For her, and I told her I'm going to fight for you as much as I can. We've been calling the school, and we worked with the counselor for a year to make sure that she would be able to end up top class because she has sacrificed so much. And, you know, with just one phone call being told it's no longer going to happen, it was a mistake. Sorry.
When you say she sacrificed so much, just kind of talk to me quickly about how hard your daughter worked for this.
She's a bookworm. That's what I call her. She's very passionate about dance. She let go dance because she needed to focus more on school. If you ask her, she doesn't really go out. She's focused 100% on her education. So sometimes we try to push her to go out with the friends, and she's like, no, I got to do this, I got to do that. I got to study for this. So it's, seeing the sacrifices that she's made, it's tough to see her, I don't even know what she feels. When you were talking to her earlier, we can say I learned a little bit more how she felt about the situation, and it was hard listening to her, voice her.
Obviously, there's so many aspects of this, right? So how hard she's worked, how much of a goal this was, everything she's sacrificed. I think one of the things people are going to understand and relate to the most is the money. Is that she committed to UT under the impression that she was going to have a free year of school.
Exactly. I mean, like we've told her not to worry about it. Obviously, we're going to try to help her out as much as possible. We were trying to avoid getting such a big, lump of a school loan. Obviously, my wife and myself went through school, and we know how school loans are. So we were trying to avoid that for her, but like we told her, we're not going to let you, we're not going to fail you on your dream. If, loans need to be taken out, well, we'll do it and help you as much as we can.
How frustrating that is that, though, as a dad, to see sort of that guarantee taken away from her financially?
I really don't know how to explain it, like the feeling. And it's not, I would say it's not much of the money situation, it's just the answers that we're getting, as far as we're not getting no true answer from the school saying, we don't know. Like, they apologize, and like I told the principal, your apology doesn't really help me. I want to know what made this happen, what's going on, and we can't get the answer that we want.
And part of your concern, I know, is that they said this policy has been in effect for 7 years.
Well, that's correct. They told us the policy has been in effect since 2017. I would understand if it was a policy that's been in effect a year or two that they weren't familiar with. And especially since we dealt with the guidance counselor for over a year, we figured she would know what the policy is.
What do you hope happens now?
At this point, honestly, we just want someone to be responsible for the actions. It can't be just a matter of like, oops, sorry, we didn't know our policy. We've been told certain things that they contradict themselves as far as who let them know. And then we're told, oh no, it's just something, that was brought to our attention, but they don't tell us who. It's a lot of mixed feelings, a lot of different things have gone through our heads, as far as could be that they just don't want her to be valedictorian because she's just been in the school district 2 years.
You watched your daughter write her valedictorian speech.
Exactly. She's been working on her speech almost a year now, because we had been told, last year that it was almost impossible for anybody to catch up to her. That one of the only ways that she can be caught is if she failed her courses. So seeing her, go to football games and cheering during the week, and still having to come home late at night to finish her work, or staying up till 2, 3 in the morning and getting up the next day to go to school, and then just one phone call taking that away from her.
I know that you are emotional about this. I could see you choke up in the beginning of the interview. What is it that you feel as you sit down and talk about this with me?
A lot of it is anger towards the school district, and a lot of it is feeling hopeless, because as a parent, you want to provide for your kid, you want to do whatever's possible, and it's situations that nobody's going to prep you to tell them what they want to hear. And that right there angers me even more, because I know that she needs the support. But like I told her today, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do my best to help you with this, but there's nothing that I can tell you right now that's going to make you feel better. I know they're taking something huge from you. All I can tell you is that we're going to be here for you, support you, and help you as much as we can.